What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning into yet another episode of the Sports Muse podcast. This is take 2 because we just recorded basically the entire episode, and I didn't hit the record button, so be proud of your boy. I'm joined by my co-host today, John. John, how you doing?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me today.
Man, no problem at all. And what we're doing here is we're going around to all 32 NFL teams, and we're going to be talking about their additions, their departures, notable draft picks, and making a season prediction of what we think they're going to do in the regular season and what we think they might do in the postseason. So our first team is the reigning, defending, undisputed champions of the world, the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, the Chiefs last year were loaded, and they're basically bringing the band back. Not really any differences. To kind of go over some stuff is Kansas City was 12-4 last year, which is amazing in its own right because Patrick Mahomes missed a lot of time. And the fact that they didn't fall off the map with Patrick Mahomes gone, the best quarterback in the league probably, shows how just all around great the team is. As far as additions, the only really guy that they brought in that was outside of Kansas City that wasn't a re-sign was Taco Charlton, which he's a first-round pick. He's supposed to be talented. I didn't really see much in the draft process, and he definitely didn't perform much in Dallas. So we'll kind of see how that goes. They re-signed Breeland, but, Breeland's actually – I don't even know what the NFL ended up doing or if they've announced anything, but he got busted with what, it wasn't like drugs and a gun or something like that?
I think, yeah, definitely. He definitely got in some kind of trouble. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah.
So right now he's an addition, but he could be gone. Who knows? They re-signed Damian Williams, Demarcus Robinson, and they tagged Chris Jones. Basically, they're big name guys. They brought him back. As far as departures, Shady McCoy, which, he carried the ball a decent amount last year compared to the other backs. But I don't think you're really losing much. Shady was clearly starting to age out of the league. They replaced him with a draft pick we'll talk about here in a second. Cam Irving started about half the season at tackle. Emmanuel Ogbah, which was kind of one of those guys who would, be a spell rusher. Reggie Ragland didn't play a ton, a little bit of special teams, a little bit of defense. But their probably biggest loss is Kendall Fuller, which is their nickelback. And he's pretty talented and everything, but if that's all you're losing, man, I don't think you can be too mad.
Yeah, not at all. Shady definitely wasn't the Shady of old. He wasn't, the same explosive back he was before. So definitely, I definitely think he would be their most significant loss, and it really nothing that they can't make up easily.
Exactly. The only thing I could probably complain about a little bit is, if you want to be real picky, is they lost a little bit of depth, but again, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Barring injuries will catch up to anybody no matter what position. So I can't complain about the team, man. It's crazy.
Definitely not. What could they have added besides what they added? But yeah, definitely didn't lose much.
Exactly. They don't have a glaring weakness. You know what I mean? They don't have a position where you're going like, oh man, if this happens, really not a whole lot of weaknesses. As far as notable draft picks, they drafted the LSU standout running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and they drafted William Gay Jr. in the second round. The Edwards-Helaire pick kind of seemed a bit of a reach as far as that goes, just for the simple fact that he was the first back off the board. Nobody really had that. But the thing is, he's a perfect fit in Kansas City. It's a stupid fit. He's a great receiving back who likes to, kind of a little bit shifty, can probably run from the gun. And that fits exactly what Kansas City's trying to do, which makes it the perfect 1-2 punch with him and Damian Williams. And then William Gay Jr., who's a first-round talent, but ended up going in the second round for the simple fact that he had some off-the-field issues. Just another athlete that they're adding to their defense that's going to help, Matthews run around, make a lot of plays.
Yeah, definitely agreed. Maybe people were surprised by the Edwards-Helaire pick, but, if it's a perfect fit and he's atop your board, you got to take him.
Exactly. If you're going with, my favorite running back of last year's draft was Dobbins, But like as much as I like Dobbins isn't as good of a fit as Hilaire in Kansas City. So like again, if that's your guy and he fits your scheme and that's what you want, then maybe they could have traded back out a little bit more capital. But at the end of the day, you pick your guy where you want to, and he's yours.
Yeah, exactly.
So looking at this, Kansas City, like I said, defending Super Bowl champs. Do we think the AFC West has improved at all? Do we think there's anybody that's going to challenge them for the crown of the AFC West?
I mean, other than the Broncos, they seem to have made the biggest improvements. But, I mean, I don't think they've improved anywhere close to Kansas City.
It's exactly that. If Kansas City's an A, Denver might have went from like a C+ to like a B.
Yeah, but there's barring what Drew Lock does. But, I mean, I think if it's Drew Lock, Patrick Mahomes dueling, I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes 100% of the time.
Unless Drew Lock gets bit by a radioactive spider, I'm going to go with Kansas City to win the division again. So, worst case scenario, what is the nightmare that could happen in Kansas City that, fans don't want to see?
Oh, I mean, it's hands down Patrick Mahomes' injury.
Is there
or maybe Kelce, because people love Kelce so much, but I feel like they might be able to overcome that a little bit better than if Patrick Mahomes went down for the season.
Yeah, I think, besides the obvious Patrick Mahomes pick, I would say the second most valuable player on that team has to be Tyrann Mathieu, because I feel like he covers up a lot of holes on that team. And he's one of those guys who, like, his name, he's the honey badger and, all that stuff. But I feel like he's one of those guys that does a lot under the radar that you might not realize. So that's the only other guy I can really see that if he got hurt, would really hurt Kansas City in the long run.
Yeah.
What's your 2020 prediction as far as where do you think they'll finish in the regular season? Do you think they make the playoffs, and what kind of playoff run do they make?
I mean, barring anything like crazy, like a Patrick Mahomes injury or something like that, I think they definitely finish like at least 12 wins again. So I'm going to say maybe 13-3. And then definitely make the playoffs. Maybe not a 1 seed because maybe someone gets 14 wins, but I'd say top 3 seed going to the playoffs.
You know what? Just kind of thinking about it, when we got ready to do this, I don't know who takes the 1 seed from them. I don't really see like an outright New England, going, oh, they're going to compete. I mean,
other than
I guess
the Ravens,
it's Baltimore.
What's that?
I guess it's Baltimore, but like they're in a lot harder division than what Kansas City's in.
Yeah, I mean, because I think with them, like the Steelers, they're always going to be tough. Like then they always play the Ravens so tough, so that maybe they steal a couple wins there. But yeah, I mean, agreed that they're in a harder division than Kansas City.
So the answer is Baltimore, but like I think if Kansas City goes 12-4 again, I would be kind of shocked that they only finished 12-4. Like that's how good they are. Maybe they, rest the last game of the season, but with the new seeding, it's kind of different. Only the 1 seed gets the bye now. I would say 13-3, but it honestly could be a 14-2, 15-1 team. Like that's how good they are.
Yeah.
Do you think they win another Super Bowl?
I mean, it's so hard to say that like that now when we haven't seen anything. We haven't seen any like mini camps or nothing. So I feel like it's tough to say that, but they're definitely the favorites, I would imagine.
I'm trying to think. If I had to make a prediction this far out, it's so hard to repeat in the NFL, man. I mean, it's hard to make the playoffs again after you win the Super Bowl.
That's true.
Oh, man. I just don't know. I think they get to the AFC Championship game and something weird happens. Like, Pittsburgh or Baltimore. I don't love Phillip Rivers and Indy. But just something along those lines. Even the Bills. I actually like the Bills a lot this year. But something weird like that I think might happen just because it's so hard and so draining because the season's so long to come back on top again. As far as parting shots, just something I was kind of thinking about and I've been thinking about for a while is I don't understand why it took Andy Reid to win the Super Bowl for us to respect him as one of the greatest coaches of all time. The guy was one of the greatest. Go ahead.
Oh, I'll just say, I think it's just because of how everyone just views championships as there. Look at even with everything with championships. You're not really like considered one of the greats until you win a championship. But so I mean, I think even with coaches, it has to go with that as well.
Yeah, and I understand that. I don't know. Like, I value championships. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I value them as much as some people do.
Mm-hmm.
But just the idea of, like, look what he did with Alex Smith. I mean, if Andy Reid never comes to Kansas City, I'm not saying for sure it's going to happen, but there's a chance Alex Smith wasn't going to be in the league. You know what I mean? Like, it was that kind of thing. But Andy Reid did a spectacular job in Kansas City, did a spectacular job in Philly. So my parting shot is show your boy Andy Reid some love.
No, I agree with that. I mean, I definitely think he's, one of the best coaches in the NFL right now, like easily. And but I think now that he has won it, maybe it'll be like just a little bit better because he always had that reputation of not being able to finish it. So now, nothing really else to say.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you like the content, make sure you click like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.